Well, hello again, friends and fans. Raptor here. Welcome back to Wargame Red Dragon Pearl of the Orient. We're getting down towards the end now. We're on turn 6 and almost going to get into turn 7 here after we defend the new territories. But I've been thinking a little bit from what the Chinese have been doing. On the left side here, we had a real big problem at Dosen't when they attacked us with their attack helicopters, the airborne regiments that they've been sending in. And I think they're going to be able to do it again. I also noticed there's a Marine regiment waiting here. And there's a Marine regiment waiting there that's about ready to strike. We do have the Princess Patricia's regiment and the Commando regiment ready to roll, but I think we have some real gaps in our defenses since we've been so focused on the northern section, and rightfully so, since there's been attack after attack after attack. So yeah, keep in mind, by the way, we can't roll up into these sectors from here after an attack like that. We have to kind of follow through with a defense and kind of keep it there rather than attack. I know you all want me to roll into there, but it's impossible to do. I'm sure you're screaming at your computers to do it, and obviously, you know, I would have if I could have. Obviously, if there's all these units here and all I have to do is move one unit in there to destroy them, I would have already. But anyway, it is time to look at the tactical map a little bit more before we move on to the smaller campaign. So Lantau Island, unfortunately, I did look, and it's not just regular old Marines. We have 24 ZTS 63Is, which are a nightmare, not because of the tank, but because of the number 24. And however, we do have Princess Patricia's regiment, but most importantly, the Commando regiment, which has Royal Marines that are armed with the awesome Carl Gustaf M2, so that's going to really help in stopping them. Now, speaking of stopping them, there's nothing I can do at this moment against these forces here, and we do have our Tornado Naval Squadron in the area here, but I'm thinking that possibly if the Chinese work their way towards this airfield, we could possibly lose these aircraft as well. A horrible loss, however, we won't necessarily need them anymore since the Marine Regiment here is pinned down. So a couple things I want to do. I don't think we can move this the RN Hong Kong squad into Naval Sector Mike and take out that helicopter. I believe for some magical reason they've deemed that helicopters are immune to battle and can basically just fly around and do whatever they want, or at least that's what I've heard, so we may have a little bit of trouble there. But what I'm going to do before we end this turn is we're going to move the Illustrious here to see if in the next couple turns we can cut off the Marine Regiment from Lantau Island, and we do want to prevent any other landings at Sai Kung and such. And as I had said before, you know, I want to keep all of these in control and not want to buy anything else, but now we have to. So in order to have a better victory, it's clear that we're going to need to hold all secondary objectives, which is Dosen't, which is safe, Sai Kung, which is pretty safe, and Lantau Island. Now, if I fall back into Dosen't and there's fighting there, any contested area is likely not going to be up for victory. If there is one Chinese foot in that territory, suddenly the Chinese have the advantage at the negotiation tables. Margaret's going to be pissed. So we're going to go ahead and do our moves then. I'm going to move the Illustrious down, and we're going to keep this ship here at Lima because I don't want those that Marine regiment getting anywhere close to it. In fact, we could probably chase them down and obliterate them, but I don't want to move because of that helicopter. So we're gonna stay exactly where we're at here. Meanwhile, the Tornado Naval Squadron will send them back to base and hopefully over to this airfield another time. I don't think Lantau Island will fall, but I do believe Sai Kung will. Now, after this attack here, none of these units are up to move, so unfortunately they have to stay exactly where they are. But we can bring in some forces to slow down the airborne regiment. We can bring in the Light Horse, which is nothing but Pioneers and MRAAWs, and also Anzac Artillery, both of which are not very good against helicopters. In fact, by not very good, I mean just horrible. But we can pull some units off here. We do have our gunship company, which we could pull off. However, I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to pull back our tracked... we're going to call them tracked Rapos. Yeah, track Raptors. Yeah, that's right. The FSAs and the standard version are going to be pretty good against those helicopters, so perhaps we could use those. We do have some aircraft here, but we don't really have any helicopters to fight, and we could probably just call in our our RAAF fighter squadron, and even the RAF strike squadron does have some missiles on it. So we'll pull these back. We can also pull back our unfortunately lost chieftains and such, and perhaps we can refit them for another battle. And I should have done things like that before, but really the Chinese were throwing everything at us, and now they're getting kind of light at what they've got. We do need to keep the light tank battalion there because they've got the Sultan. Now's the time to really think about this stuff. And also we can pull back to ADAT-ASS, so we'll pull that back as well. Helicopter's going to have to stay here. The regiment can probably roll back to, let's see, oh, it's actually locked into battle. So the close recon and the helicopters, I'm pretty sure, can hold on their own. And the logistics fob here, we're probably going to keep that right where he is. So we should have at least, oh, we do have a HQ section then from the Royal Hong Kong Regiment. And these troops basically are just cheap. Well, they're basically going to slow the enemy down. So, all right, that should be a good start before finishing this turn. Keep in mind, we are probably at the start of the next turn. If we don't fight the Chinese at Sai Kung, we can at least delay them. So we can actually run out the clock and make it a draw. It'll be a secondary objective, but we can move these other units in and fight them one more time and recapture the secondary objective. So we'll put our light horse battalion right there. That'll give them a couple extra turns to refit. And my hopes are that the HMS Illustrious will come in to assist at Naval Sector Gulf to get those troops out of the way. And yeah, so I was playing it quick, but now it's time to slow down because the Chinese are still sneaky. They've still got stuff rolling around the sides, and they've pretty much attacked with everything they could up front, and now they're off to their desperate flanks, and those actually could be quite effective. So anyway, with that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend, all that good stuff, and thank you so much for your continuous support and all that good stuff, all that feedback, all those nice comments. It means so much, and I really appreciate that. And for those of you who you know, who just don't appreciate it and stuff, just beat it. All right, let's go. New territories. We're breaking new territories, baby, because we're doing this with just some gunships and some light tanks and such, so we'll hopefully be able to do it. Now, we do have the Chinese surrounded here, so it should be easier than you'd think. However, it is more difficult than you think because we'll have quite a few points to get just from a couple of helicopters. But given how the Chinese have been playing recently, and given the fact that we also have cluster bombers, if they, as you saw the previous time, they do like to clump their artillery here, and there's been a recon or a command vehicle spotted here. They also have another command somewhere else, but I'm thinking it might be infantry in the town. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, with that said, it's time to rock and roll. We need to keep the North District for our air reinforcements, and we do need to keep Bravo for our extra points, and that'll help us to bring in aircraft. So as you can see, we don't have nothing other than the helicopters here, and they actually have their AA2, so we're going to need to constantly have a F4E out, and also the Tornadoes to do gun runs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep the a recon vehicle up. Pinky's going to be the best here with his exceptional optics, so we're going to put him on the front line, and we'll put our choppers right up here. Lynx is great. It actually has some air-to-air capabilities, and we also have a TOW 2 still available. And we have our 20 millimeters, which should be able to take care of anybody who sneaks past on this flank over here. So we'll get out 3 of those, and we'll call out a recon unit for that as well. Now, this is very unconventional and strange gameplay, even for me, but I really think it's going to work because the Chinese must travel in packs, and the best way to get them is to pin them down with Lynx and TOWs, panic the hell out of them, and when they stop to engage anything, to bomb the hell out of them with our aircraft. Speaking of which, we're going to call out our Vedi and our Phantom as well to make sure our helicopters don't get popped. And then also we have our FOB in a pretty good position to assist those helicopters if needed. Too bad the Fox doesn't have the swing fire. I love that thing. And our Scorpion light tanks are pretty much useless against that number of Chinese tanks. But we'll go ahead and keep our extra points. I think what we can do is we'll either, depending on how things go, we'll either buy another Tornado or a Phantom, depending on what pops out. If we see enemy aircraft after our helicopters right away, then we'll call out another one. Other than that, it's going to be 24/7 air cover over here. There's probably some man pads in the town as well, but luckily for us, it's pretty much crap knowing what we came up against in the Bear versus Dragon campaign. All right, well now it's Margaret versus Bear versus Dragon. She's fighting everybody, man. She's taking 2-on-1. All right. I'm nervous to hit this button, but we got to do it. We got to roll forward. I just do want to take a look. Oh, we do have wombats as well, so that's another good unit that could actually slow them down. I really want to buy the... Yeah, maybe we should. To thin the herd a little bit. No, resist, Raptor. All right, here we go. All right, so the Pinky's in a good secure spot. We're going to get out our air comm as soon as we can. There we go. All right, so as soon as they see anything on the ground, they're going to rock and roll against us with their rocket artillery. So it's time for us to rock and roll against what they've got on the ground. I'm going to go for what we think to be, or what I've known to be, their previous positions on AA, artillery, and commands. So hopefully we can get a nice 120, 130, whatever it happens to be. No hits there, but it was worth a try. If they don't have decent AA, we may as well keep trying. Pinky's not seeing anything. Where are you going, Pinky? We'll have our other rover roll up. Oh, whoa, we got a nice artillery hit there. That must have been artillery, 80 points right there. Lynx is firing again. Oh, there we go, 185 point command. That must have been what that was, command tank. And that was right in the dead center of cluster munitions. Damn. Alright, oh, come on now. Oof. Initiated cloak. Alright, ZTZ-88s are moving to the left. They're going to have to deal with the 20 millimeters. Keep Pinky back a little bit. Great thing is we can catch them on the run now. And we'll call these out. Hopefully we can hit them at the bridge. Now we'll just hit them where... Oh, see, of course, they start moving once you've targeted them. Alright, looks like they're coming around. Make sure the tow targets those and not the cheap-ass transports. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, beautiful. A lot of panic on those. Those are heavily armed units, too. So don't expect those to just explode on the first hit. Lynx is getting some more missiles. Well, come on now, tow. ZTZs are just flying. 20 millimeters are going to have to come to block. Oh, they're going to have to get dead right on top of them. Never mind. Pinky is down. Of course, you know, with that number of units, it's just an insta-kill. Damn, Pinky can't see. Okay. Let's try to get another rocket or something in the meantime. See if we can kill a missile before we... PTZ 59, that's a 60-point tank. That'll bring us to even, and we need one more kill, ironically, to end this. Even though they have 0 morale points, we still need to we have to push them into the negative morale. Okay, tornadoes are out. They're getting hit by AA. Again, it's just that crappy man pads. Actually, it's that. Well, those were good hits. It's actually that that PGZ crap. 88s are still coming down the hill. Back off a bit. I'd prefer to hit a high value target within the zone here. Let's have these two hold fire. Buying as much time as I can to actually destroy a unit that would be worth killing rather than these tanks, which are basically going to be set back to start in a half second when we get our final kill. Hopefully artillery. Oh, come on now. Alright, they're getting a little close to the Sultan. Of course, it's the computer, so they know exactly where it is. Alright, well, we'll just end it here. Look at that, they're just rolling fast into the zone. Alright, well, anyway, that's the end of that one. Total victory there, no complete destruction on enemy forces. We must have killed the ZZZZZZZ. It's asleep in 59, that's what we killed. Alright, good move. That'll push him out of the region. And it gives us security over it. No other moves we can make. We can move the commandos out, but with those tanks there, I'm not budging. And Princess Patricia's Grizzlies with the, not so much the Pioneers, but the Canadian Rifles will definitely be worth something, especially since they're 15 points. It's going to give us good security over Lantau Island. By the way, I did look at this island at some point, too, and we should probably review what it looks like again. So it is actually... it's a very large naval landing zone. Primarily, they're going to have to land at Alpha or over at Foxtrot, according to what I know from this map in multiplayer. And that's kind of nice because if they land at Foxtrot, they have to go through a large industrial facility here, and if they land at Alpha, they have to basically do the same or through a town. But look at how huge Delta is, and I think we can mount our defense there where that massive town is, that huge village. In fact, it may as well just be a city. That large city there will be a really good point for us to block them. And in fact, if we hide in the new territories a command and hide a command at Delta, we can definitely get the points and the reinforcements to block them at Naval Sector Gulf once they make their landing, which they'll probably do at the next turn. So I suppose we can do another turn here. We'll cut this one short. We'll have our airborne regiment attack at Sai Kung, guarantee that. I mean, or they'll fly to Kowloon. I'm not sure if they can actually do two moves, so they might be able to do that. But let's see. Let's just end our turn, get our points, and see what they do. And I'll go ahead and say shocking before they even do it. Shocking. Look at that. So, Marine Regiment there. We'll start... Oh, you know what? We have to fight where they want to fight. So, they want to fight our Light Horse Battalion. Look at that. We've actually got them surrounded. There's not much we can do against them, and I'm not going to retreat. I'm just going to try to drag out the time. So I'm going to launch this battle. This episode may be a little longer than usual then. And I just want to also show where else they've attacked. Naval Sector Lima, they're just basically going to retreat because this Marine Regiment cannot fight the Hong Kong squadron or whatever. And then at Lantau Island, that's going to be a big fight against all those tanks in that naval landing we just went over. And meanwhile, they're attacking the new territories in North District again and again. And also we'll probably be refitting our heavy tank battalion, and our air defense company will be moving over to Sai Kung after this first battle, and hopefully we don't lose our naval squadron. Even though we don't need it, even though it's really not important, I don't want to take any more losses than we have to. I'm going to try to play this more professionally and more, more knowledgeable than I did the first one, since, I'm trying to pretend like I'm playing with actual lives here. However, knowing actual lives, sometimes you have to sacrifice quite a lot of infantry in order to, for the greater good of the battle or the campaign, which is a shame, but that is warfare. All right, anyway, I'll get off my horse and get on the Light Horse Battalion. All right, we'll go ahead and fire this up. All right. So we got another battle on our hands here. Helicopters, again, very big pain in the ass to take these out, and if it's anything like the previous battle was, it's going to be nothing but a ton, and I mean a real ton, of... oh, I wonder if I could have sent over the Tornado Squadron. Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, I could have, actually. I could have sent them over, and they could have done some good here. But really not too much good, because what's going to happen is the computer is going to have to rush to one of these areas. They're either going to have to rush to, well, one of these areas, and they're going to have to fly over the top of us, so that's what I'm hoping to do here. Unfortunately, a lot of Anzac are going to die in this. And this is exactly one of those situations I've been talking about, because the enemy will have Z5As, and those have 80 millimeters of BS accuracy and range. That's what their primary armament is, anyway. All right, we have 2 of these veterans and 2 of these veterans. We'll be blocking them at the canal if we can. There's going to be, basically, as you've been seeing, the computer will just spawn like a blob here and a blob there, and then it's just going to blob out. The blob will just roll over to one of these sectors in order to try to... capture them, and these tanks would be good targets to slow them down. But again, we have to make them, we have to delay them and make them pay. So we'll keep. What we're going to do actually is we're going to keep small infantry groups hidden around this area to look and search for commands if they happen to land. The same at Kowloon if they try to land on the far right side. Perhaps we could kill some helicopters and get them to land their command somewhere near them. Actually, knowing the computer, it'll probably land out here in the open, but anyway. Alright, we do want to hide our command as well, and these assault pioneers probably aren't too good against it, and the MRR are great, except only great against tanks. So speaking of tanks, we do have M41A1s, and I'd love to bring those into Alpha, except for the moment I rush all of these in is the moment they're all going to die. But we have to do it. We have to try to push in there and find their command and see if we can bring an end to it. And knowing the enemy, they're going to bring their commands. They're going to have tons of commands going every which way in order to try to escape and find a spot to leech to and, bring in 1,000 units. Okay, I guess we're ready to roll then. I've called out all the units I kind of want to. We actually could call out more MRAAWs, but hell, why not? I mean, every man counts at this point. Maybe we could somehow sneak them across through the back in the forest there. Alright, so get ready for a ton of rockets being launched right at the start. This is going to be lols worthy, so here we go. Okay, they're going to go for the 50-50s right away. I'm going to unload all my infantry that I can and send those tanks right in. Hopefully they can't see us with all the cover, and hopefully a lot of these helicopters get pinned down with all the fire. I should have, you know, Raptor's mistake should have brought in that that naval group, or the naval anti-naval squadron, but unfortunately not much we can do at this point and or in general against that number of helicopters anyway. I mean, as you see, Z5's just crappy, what, 5-point helicopter, 10-point helicopters are just having a field day against all of our infantry. And they'll probably find our command, and hopefully they don't end it. But hopefully that M1 gets killed, and we find their command here at Alpha. We're going to go north, south, every which way. Look at that. They just cleared out every infantry we had with just the... oh, look at that. They're starting to flee from Alpha. But don't you worry. They'll find a hole somewhere. Alright, we're going to have to rush to Dosen't. I actually forgot about those pioneers. Another helicopter down, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, they've landed at Dosen't. We did get that reinforcement out in time. It's got to be their helicopter right there. That's the command. That's it right there. We're going to come up behind it if we can. There's a Z5 hovering just above this forest as well. See if we can get over there with our guns. Killing the recon is a huge plus, too. That's really the only reason they were able to kill all those troops there. And I told you there would be a mess. Okay, these must be Hellfires. I know they're not, but sure seems like it. Try to just move closer to that. Alright, looks like they've landed everything they've got. Trying to kill our command. Try to get into cover there and see if we can take out the rest of those helicopters. There's that Z5. Now they're going to just spread out like a cancer now. They're just going to... luckily we're holding some of the positions so they actually can't call out everything that they may have. Now that I've moved this though, I can't let that tank unit destroy this command. That's why I'm moving. And here comes the cavalcade of units. Just going to try to move every so often so I can try to prevent that from occurring. Alright, they've got AA units in there. That HN. We have no motivation here, no morale. I actually really wasn't aware of that. And here comes the cavalcade. They should just shoot their flamethrowers up in the air. That should scare the hell out of them. Look at those missiles. Just ridiculous. Now they have 8 of those and they just instantly destroy everything. The M1 can see everything too. There's no stopping that thing. So they did somehow move into the Kowloon capture zone. And you can rest assured that they've got something coming for Kowloon. So it's going to be Z5 after Z5. Mi-8Ts are going for the rest of the tanks. This blob here is just, that's going to be the end of us. There's nothing we can do against that. Not even decent AA could cut that down. No amount of helicopters. You really just need, even javelins would have a tough day on that. Here comes the Mi-8Ts to finally take, oh, there's Z5, so they look bigger than that. But this is what's BS, is that now that we've countercapped this area, the computer's still able to call out a literal parade, even though they don't own that zone. They're still just going to do whatever they want. Which is BS, because if the computer captures something, or if Chairman Mao here captures something for a quarter of a second, he owns it for an eternity, which is BS. So if anything, we'll have a draw here. we'll may as well speed it up now because we kind of know what's going to happen. This command will die. These units here will eventually die as well. There they go. So that is a total defeat being pushed out of that area. And they shouldn't be able to move again from there. Aircraft being pulled back, and Sai Kung is now theirs. We will counterattack. Luckily, we did hold on to our aircraft, and we do have aircraft arriving back, so we'll go ahead and move our illustrious first thing. Getting close there. And we'll go ahead and deal with the Naval Sector Lima thing. Obviously, that's going to take half a second, and... Oh, wait a minute. They actually want to bro down? Ooh. Are you guys going to get a secret, special, super long episode? Well, maybe so. We have Type 21s and Pegasus here. Ah, that's why they wanted to fight. Because, we have a lot less ships than we used to. Alright, well, they want to bro down. I honestly thought they would piss off, but I guess not. Alright, well, we'll take care of this then. We'll get them when they're coming out of the, come on now. We'll get them when they're coming out of the zone there at Naval Sector Oscar. And per usual, they're going to have their massive escort as well. It's going to be a lot of small ships. I guess I got so used to it. It's going to be, not Ludas, but who knows. Anyway, we're going to need good guns here, so let's get to it. There's our Luda. And again, it would be good to have our naval ships here, or our anti-naval, Now let's get closer before we fire now. Hold on now. So these Ludas are really going to have to spread out, but they're going to be toast. You guys are getting an extra special episode. But we did have to make the sacrifice with those Anzacs to keep that unit exactly where it was. I can't let it spread to the airport like that. And now it's time to finish off the Ludas. Actually, probably slow that down a little bit. Captain killed on bridge on that second Luda there. That Luda's dead. And this should be the last one to finish off. It won't points here probably won't matter as much. It'll come down to the ship being the last command and it already having no health. That's it. Okay, good. Alright, well they should have just backed off instead of actually burrowing down. Total victory there. And finishing off that marine sector. Alright, well I guess they're getting more desperate, so they had to push the issue. Okay, anyway, so that was your Super Secrets extended episode. And until next time, password and Pimpan Strong. We'll get Sai Kung back, no problem. And we'll deal with Lantau Island as well. New territories are holding great, and the North District, I think, is going to need a little bit more than the old Harrier GR3s. Rocket pods are great, but they only last for so long, and these tanks are getting more heavy. Maybe we can bring up something a little nice for the enemy to chew on. Apparently we can't refit them here, but we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye.